What's happening, Auxly traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It is Tuesday, April 12th. Hope you're well today. And in today's short video, we're going to be discussing the stock Auxly, ticker symbol XLY. We're going to do some technical analysis. We'll look at their earnings that are coming up here in May and what we can expect for that, and my thoughts and opinions on the stock in the days and weeks and months ahead. Before we get to it though, and if you're an Auxly fan, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos. Like I said, we just had earnings, but we're looking at May 30th as the tentative earnings date coming up, and it'll be here before you know it. So we'll want to see official confirmation from Auxly, but the EPS is forecasted at a negative 0.01, and the revenue is forecasted at 29.5 million, which means a slight decline from the prior quarter, and we know that they slightly missed those estimates. So likely potentially going to come in line with that 29 million. We did see that Tilray declined in their MJ volume and their MJ sales, and they actually missed their revenue estimates. And we know that Auxly has been really taking some market share away from those tier 1 LPs and the likes of Tilray, and we'll see whether or not that trend continues. But I think we're going to come in somewhere around that 29 to 30 million, and I think this is a great pick long term. We know that Tilray just launched the first edible in Quebec, Canada's second largest province. We know that Auxly has some fantastic edibles, and I think it's just a matter of time before we see Auxly into the SQDC, maybe even Organogram and Hexo get some edibles in there as well, or Redecan maybe comes through that. But lots of positive changes. We know that Canada is changing the drink regulations from 5 to 48. We know that they're likely going to introduce vapes into Quebec soon. We know that they're likely going to get rid of that 10 milligram limit per edible, right? And that will entice a lot more people and bring in a lot more consumers back into the space, because it's just, it doesn't really make it worthwhile, right? When you have to eat so many of them, if you're somebody who's like me and you need to eat, 4 or 5 packs just to feel something, 2 milligrams is really nothing in the grand scheme of things, especially if you have any bit of experience or tolerance. But I digress. We'll dive into the chart here. Like I said, we just had earnings. So we have earnings on May 30th. So nothing really stopping us from breaking out here. If we got a lot of room to run, just like most MJ. And I think the trend is slowly starting to reverse. We're starting to see positive momentum in Congress, and we're starting to see bills pass through the MORE Act. We're going to potentially see Schumer's bill this month. There's even talks of safe banking getting thrown into a manufacturing bill. So we're going to continue to monitor the U.S. landscape and the progress there. But we're seeing a lot of changes in Canada as well, and Canada's preparing to loosen these restrictions and all these limitations to compete with the U.S., right? So that competing landscape that's going to be there soon once the floodgates open up. And we know that Village Farms and Aurora, some of the executives from those companies have said in the last few days that they believe that we're going to have federal legalization in the U.S., and they believe that they're going to be able to grow and ship MJ into the U.S. So again, we know Tilray has a deal with MedMen. We know Cannabis has a deal with Acreage. Why are all these companies getting ready for U.S. expansion? I think it's because it's a lot sooner than many people think, and that's even what Village Farms had said as well. So taking a look at the monthly chart here, we have 2 monthly inside bars, actually 3 monthly inside bars at the moment. So a break does look imminent on Auxly. Not a bad idea to start scaling into some positions here if you're looking for a long-term entry. Again, not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only, in my honest opinion. But personally, if I was looking for a long-term entry here, I'd be using the dollar cost averaging approach. I'd likely take a little position now, and then you could potentially set a stop loss under those monthly inside bars in this low here at 12 cents if you wanted to, if you're not as aggressive. But again, we have key resistance there at 19.5 cents and key support at 13.5 cents. And if we lose 13.5, that's not going to be good, right? We're looking down at 12 and then likely 10 cents psychological. If we break it bullish, though, we have no real monthly resistance all the way up until 35.5 cents. Moving into the weekly time frame, so just zooming in a little bit here, we do have a type of ascending triangle forming here on the weekly time frame. So again, 19.5 cents is going to be the resistance to get over, and we could really just bounce around in here for a couple more months, right? We'll have to wait and see, but this is overall a bullish trend, and this usually means bullish continuation is what the pattern signifies. And if we take the measured move from that pattern, it takes us up to about 30 cents, and we know we have key resistance there at 35 cents as well. So those are going to be the levels to be watching. If we do get over 20 cents, say, we're going to be watching 30 cents and then 35 cents as major resistances, and then support is 13.5 cents and 12. And after 12, we just have 10 cents psychological. In terms of the weekly moving average, the 10-week moving average, we are now below it, which is actually, we're right on it at 15 cents, which is a little concerning, but we had a doji there to finish the week, so a little bit of an indecisive week last week. We did see a bear cross of the stochastic, which is a little bit concerning, but the MACD still holding. I haven't seen a bear cross there yet, so not completely game over yet for the bulls. We're starting to show some warning signs though, right? We closed below the 50-day moving average, but 15 cents psychological. We'll see if it can hold. Like I said, the next couple of weeks are going to be very telling. It's going to break, in my opinion, in the next couple of weeks. And because of these monthly inside bars, it's likely going to be a big move. And if I had to guess, leading into favorable U.S. legalization news into April, we also have 420 coming up. So I think that we could see some positive momentum. Again, if you wanted to put a stop loss, say under even 12 cents, in my opinion, that's fairly low risk. And if you were just entering at today's levels and putting a stop loss below there, you're risking about 15 to 20% to make upwards of 100 to 200%, right? So those are some risk. You don't come to MJ unless you're looking for good risk to reward, right? So this is what we're dealing with, right? It's a super volatile. You can't have the 10x or 100x gains without the 80 to 90% pullbacks, and eventually that won't happen. Eventually, MJ will have such a big, large market cap that they won't be able to manipulate the price and move the price that much. But if we take a look here at the Fibonacci's as well, we're now below the 786 from the low to the high. We're now below the 786. And in my opinion, these are great long-term entries. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, disagree with me. Going to end it there. If you could smash the like and subscribe to the channel on your way out, I would appreciate it. And as always, we'll see you again in the next video.